When the downtown lights start to come out at night, we go insane, we go insane. And when I arrive, I start to lose my mind. I go insane, I go insane. Cause they told me you take too much. Yeah, I sure do, so I can feel that now. If they only knew how this was, yeah, they would too, just to feel that now. Cause I ain't got no friends, I ain't got nobody. All I got ahead is a moonlit road. Friends, I ain't got nobody. All I got ahead is a moonlit road. When the downtown lights start to come out at night, we go insane, we go insane. And when I arrive, I start to lose my mind. I go insane, I go insane. Cause they told me you take too much. Yeah, I sure do, so I can feel that now. If they only knew how this was, yeah, they would too, just to feel that now. Cause I ain't got no friends, I ain't got nobody. All I got ahead is a moonlit road.
Can you be my? Can you be? Can you be my horror cutie? Can you be my? Can you be? Can you be my horror cutie?
I can be your, I can be.
Big microphone voice.
Why are you talking that?
So that the big microphone hears me. There, it works. Oh, and there are people. Hello, everybody. Hello. There's a chat room.
Hello!
Hello. We're in that box. We're in the camera there.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
This is an interesting experience.
Uh-huh.
Thank you for inviting me on.
You're very welcome. Try to ignore all this stuff.
Okay.
This is it. And there's Grey Lizard in the chat. Hello, Grey Lizard in the chat.
Hello, Grey Lizard.
This is Kat. Welcome to the live stream. We are live. I'm going to put us live on TikTok as well.
Very interesting.
Yeah, this is what I'm looking at when live streams are happening.
Wonder why you can't you struggle.
I know,
with
right?
everything.
It's just
It's a lot.
just
It's
a
a lot of
major
stuff on the
distraction,
screens,
isn't
everyone.
it? Oh, nowhere close to both being shot there.
I can scooch over. Look, I have the power of movement.
You do. It doesn't. We're all good there, so we're live on TikTok as well. Well, now we just sort of wait around for
people.
something interesting to happen, because I didn't plan anything for us to talk about in case nobody turned up. Don't worry though, it will be fine.
Should always expect the unexpected.
We should. Grey Lizard, you're keeping us in business. How are you doing today? You said, I hope the question I have isn't too spicy.
No, probably not. We're spicy people.
We're spicy people, apparently.
Extra hot. Let's go.
Hi, Jerry's. You do have a spicy question to ask. We can do that. Well, do you know? We'll wait a minute for people. Do I need to tweet anything else? I've tweeted a thing, I think.
Have you? I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
tweeted a thing. We're live on TikTok. This is live TikTok. Hello, everybody.
Hello,
there.
live
I
TikTok.
don't think there's any. Oh, there are two people. I don't know if they've said anything. Not yet. Hi, Christine Creations. We're live on YouTube as well at the same time. If you want to come and join us there, people in the chat. Oh, and people are actually turning up. This is different from a regular live. But I expect more people will come. I guess. Do you know what? Should we start with something? Grey Lizard, if you want to start us off with a spicy question, then please do so.
I want to know.
Yeah, I'm curious
I'm
now.
curious.
So I want to know. I
telling
don't
me
know
now.
what people want to know about this. So I don't know what people want to talk about. I'm hoping that somebody wants to talk about something. But that is always the problem with live streams. You know. Who else have we got with us? Shout out in the live chat for us so I know who's here. That would be useful. And has this tweeted out that we're live? I think we've lost Grey Lizard as well. Are you there? Are you there? I need to know what the spicy question is. That's ultimately
I know.
the problem.
We're going to be wondering about that all night now.
Yeah, that's just on my mind now, Grey Lizard. It's on my mind. So you see, this is where I usually just talk rubbish, but I don't know what cluster B things do people want to talk about? Hello there in Toronto, Point Fire. Are you new here? I don't recognize you.
I don't recognize. Hello.
Welcome to a live stream. Well, and we're picking up people in TikTok who are very quiet. So we're here to talk about cluster B relationships. In all their forms. People apparently have questions about this. There we go. Oh, Grey Lizard, and that comes with a super chat because you're so damn awesome. And appropriately, the lizard turns the lights green again. Do you see how it?
Yeah,
there we go.
That's cool. I like that. But why green? Why does it turn it green?
Because it's random.
Oh, okay.
And I like to think it's
enough.
picking up on the lizard thing.
Okay,
here's the spicy question. As someone with MPD, do you experience oxytocin release during intimate? I believe so. Yeah.
I would.
That's the super chat thing. It always comes through a minute
It's
later.
Paisley.
It is. And it comes through a minute later and scares the crap out of me because I'm not expecting it because the thing has happened and I've moved on mentally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah, definitely. It kind of feeds into the whole can narcissist love you and that kind of thing, and that's totally doable. And I get that at all the appropriate moments. But it could be a BPD thing as well. Because the emotional side of MPD is kind of weird for me compared to the others because of the BPD. So I'm more... That feels unfair to say I'm more emotional. That's not the right way of putting it. I don't work like they do.
I think, would it be fair to say that you find it a lot easier to empathize? I think that would be more fair to say. Find it more easy to empathize and understand other people's. Whereas I think some narcissists would struggle with that because there's a lack of empathy.
Yeah.
From what I know of it, I should probably mention that I don't have a cluster personality disorder.
Yeah, this is why Kat's here as well. Is that she's normal?
Well, no,
I'm not
normal.
Not a cluster B person like me.
I'm not a cluster B person.
Oh, you bought the Sense of Self video. Thank you. I hope it helps. And then go on to part 2 as well. Part 3 coming soon. I'm going to do favorite persons stuff, I think. We're getting more people watching on TikTok and I'm not even looking at them. I do apologize.
Hello to everybody.
Hello everybody there. You feel free to shout out. Also, we're live on YouTube with a much better camera angle.
Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of like hiding here.
Yeah. So yeah, I get oxytocin release. I get that from the dog. Dogs do it to us. That's why we love dogs. Imagine cats do the same thing.
Cuddle hormone. It's what makes you cuddly and lovey.
Exactly. It's what makes you cuddly.
It's the lovey-dovey. It's the lovey hormone.
Yeah. Ask Sarah as well. I imagine she will feel something sort of things, you know.
Emotionally dead in bed.
Some people are just awful in bed.
Wasn't that one of the things we were talking about with Dr. Ruth? About the lack of connection sometimes narcissists have in...
Yeah, we have the lack of connection.
In intimacy.
But it's... Yeah, it doesn't feel related to the like that part of it though. It feels like it's a much the intimacy issues are far. It's like a higher level thing before you get to the intimacy. And I don't know what intimacy issues I have really.
I think sometimes you've mentioned that sometimes you felt disconnected in that way, but not in the moment.
No, it's
just,
never.
It's before we get to that moment.
It's just a general feeling.
If you don't mind me saying.
No, I don't mind you saying. It's
because that's come up in conversation with us sometimes. But.
So yeah, it's never been an in the moment thing.
No.
If I'm in a moment, then I'm in the moment. I mean, maybe if it was someone new or someone that I didn't like or something like that, you know. But it's never. I've never felt like I've certainly never felt disconnected from you in that moment.
No,
I'm trying to think of a time I've ever felt disconnected. I mean, I'd be going back to things like either one night stands or early things in old relationships where you realize, oh, you're not actually into that kind of lack of. But that's not a narcissism thing. That's just someone doesn't really fancy you after all.
I don't think I've ever noticed you not being connected to me, and I'm pretty sensitive to that. I noticed the fluctuations with you, especially.
Yeah.
Because you've gone. I didn't realize you were that sensitive. I'm like, yes, I'm very sensitive to that.
I am. I'm very sensitive. I'm a very sensitive person.
Yeah.
BPD is a living hell, they're saying on TikTok. Yes, I agree.
Yes, from what I know of it, from what Rich, I obviously Rich spends a lot of time at his experiences, and I have a few other friends who have BPD as well, and from what they've spoken about, it's not.
Yeah. You know what?
Not a picnic.
There's someone I'm just going to send a text to who isn't in the chat yet.
Okay.
Because I think that person would be crushed if they missed this. Anyway. You wanted to ask a question about empathy. Is there a way to work out your empathy muscle and have more effective empathy towards people? I have a lot of cognitive empathy. Effective. I've never encountered cognitive versus effective. Is that I didn't know that's a thing. I've just known about empathy.
Is that Jerry's?
Yeah.
Right. So, from what cognitive empathy, correct me if I'm wrong, Jerry's, but do you mean being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes and actually think about it from a thinking perspective rather than affection and emotion from feeling it inside you? There's there's 3 different parts to empathy.
Okay.
I know this from ASD, from neurodivergent stuff. There's the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes and actually imagine that experience. Then there's the feeling what someone else is actually feeling in the moment, so feeling their hurt, their sadness, their pain, whatever the emotion they're feeling. And then there's understanding how to help them in that moment of need. Okay. So, and a lot of people with ASD, they actually have really high empathy. And they usually can feel what other people are feeling. Right. But they don't necessarily know how to help that person, and they don't necessarily know how to put themselves into that other person's shoes. So they don't know how their behavior affects another person. And they can be impaired in different areas of it. They can have really high in one and none in the other two. Kind of back and forth. Okay. But how to practice empathy? That's a good one. I always literally imagine. I just imagine a thing happening to me. It's never been a thing that I've struggled with. I can just do I wouldn't like that thought. I don't know how you practice empathy. The golden rule. What's the golden rule? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If you wouldn't like somebody doing something to you,
Oh no,
then
I
do it to them.
I meant practice as in.
But I think that's a good way to start, because that starts you thinking about what that other person might be experiencing and feeling. Because if you feel this way,
Like actively forcing yourself to
Yeah.
consider what would you like to
Yeah.
be treated like in a given situation.
yeah,
That seems like a good idea.
that's where I would start. Personally, that's where I would start. I would start at that point, because I think intellectual empathy. Jerry has said intellectually, yes. I think intellectual empathy is the good place to start, because it's one of the easiest where you could jump into it.
Right.
And then I think the rest kind of just comes with time and patience. And even if it doesn't come with time and patience, it's something that's permanently impaired. Because I do think that can be then you still have the intellectual side of it,
Right.
and you can make that choice. So it's more of an active empathy, I would say, rather than passive.
Right. We have here
That makes
on,
sense?
It does, absolutely. We have here on TikTok, so about this, using music. My partner thinks on the situation and uses music to help open the box. Says Country Canvas.
Music would probably be music's great.
And hi Ali. So it's like you know empathy, but you can't really do it. I think I see what you're saying. Like you sort of feel like I should be feeling something here, but I'm not. And we're talking about faking it till you make it.
Kind of, yeah. And using, because I mean, from my perspective, I'm a very empathic person. You know that I say I'm quite empathic, and I find the emotional side of things to be quite crippling. It can be quite difficult to manage when, especially if you don't know what's going on, and all of a
Right.
sudden your mood just drops for no reason. Oh, you're picking up.
Okay.
And you're not realizing it, because a lot of the times you don't realize it right away.
Yeah.
You're like, why am I sad suddenly?
I see.
I've picked up your moods a couple times. I've gleaned off of you, so I have to kind of are aware.
I'm trying to think if I've ever felt that.
Not fun, guys. Not something you want.
I think I ever have.
Well, mine
I maybe don't have that much empathy.
mine comes from. You probably do. It's just not around the same things. You get real emotional around movies, and you have your sentimentality. I think that in like the movies and stuff,
Yeah.
that sort of stuff brings you.
It
Emotional
does,
state.
doesn't it?
Yeah. It's just different for you. I think it just works differently. Keep in mind, I have PTSD. That's my special brand of crazy. And my PTSD, I learned to read the room to keep myself safe.
Right.
So that's where my empathy stems from. It's a trauma response to keep myself safe. So I'm kind of unlearning how to do that. I don't want all the empathy I have. I'm trying to actually actively
You see,
stop
now when you
myself
put it
from.
like that,
Yeah.
it sounds like something that
It's a
I could have.
double-edged sword.
Yeah, but I think I grew up with that. I think it's the same
Mm.
thing that you learn when you're living with a parent with BP, doing the walking on eggshells thing.
Yeah.
And it's
Precisely.
it's different from what you went through, but it's still,
Mm.
it's that feeling the mood of the room, of the house. Of course, all of that stuff.
Temperature check.
Yeah.
Am I about to get like? Do I need to run right now, or can I enter the room safely?
Yeah,
like,
that kind of thing. Yeah.
So.
Everyone on TikTok, this is Kat.
Hi.
If you want to come over and join us on YouTube, you can see both of us in the same shot. It's much better. And there's other people you can come and talk to as well.
I'm trying desperately to stay in the shot.
I
but
know.
It's kinda, I wiggle.
It's not
I'm a
your
wiggler.
fault.
Sorry.
It's just. Well, we're tall here. Do some of these comments. He's MPD.
Oh.
Alright, that's your partner, isn't it? That's Ellie asking who you are.
Hi, Ellie.
Hi, Ellie.
You've spoke to me in the chats briefly.
Yeah. Oh, she's coming to YouTube. Come to YouTube. There's a link
That's
on my
where the
there's
cool
a there's a
people hang
link
out,
on
guys.
my bio page on TikTok. There's just a button that will bring you here, and we're live on there. The fact
Yeah.
I've put that in the way so I can't read it.
Grey Lizard has said, "Can I read it to you?"
Yeah.
The fact that anyone is trying to have empathy who doesn't experience it naturally is awesome, and I agree.
I totally
I do
agree as well.
I think it's a good way to be and try to be, really.
Absolutely. I'm going to take the chat box off the live because we can't see me. Oh, no, I'm not changing it. There we go.
So many different screens,
There are,
guys.
there isn't in there.
Crazy.
Hi, Ellie. Welcome to YouTube.
Hi.
Crazy. Hello. Any tips for dealing with emotions as a BPD person? Any bad thing like the end of the world? So many things, Marina, to answer that question. So many things dealing with emotions as a BPD person. You need to. Oh God, it feels like it's such a big thing. Actually, first of all, here's what you need to do. I need to do a video on this. Dealing with the. In fact, didn't I recently do a video on this?
I feel like you did.
Which
actually.
I'm not doing in a kind of you should go and watch the video kind of way, but more in a kind of I've forgotten what I already said kind of way. Like, I feel it was. Are they trying to section you again? I thought you were already.
Aw. Sorry. That sounds difficult and hard.
I'm not dealing with this question very well. Dealing with the extremes of emotion. It's a big question.
Everything is the end of the world. Well,
Yeah.
I guess. I mean,
it's there's so many things here.
that's
right.
catastrophizing, isn't it?
It is catastrophizing,
It's
which
a
we
form
do a
of
lot. What you're doing
catastrophizing.
is a perfectly normal BPD
Yeah.
thing. But is that my sister? No, this is Kat.
Hi. I'm his partner. We've been dating for
2 and a bit.
2 and a bit years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we British?
Almost 3 years.
I'm British. She's
I'm
not.
definitely not British.
Definitely. She doesn't do the voice right.
Nope. I'm originally from Buffalo, New York, from the land of snow.
Marina, I'm going to do an actual whole video to answer your question.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know where to start now. So keep watching my channel on YouTube. I'm going to do a whole video to answer your question. I think that's the best I can offer at the moment. Can you get BPD from being abused by a partner for 7 years? No.
You can probably get PTSD.
Yeah.
PTSD and BPD are very similar. In fact, you tend to get misdiagnosed both ways. From what I understand, one of the main differences between BPD and PTSD is that we don't have the recurring cyclical thoughts as much, so we don't cycle down and keep replaying the same thought over and over and over again. Rich and I both have dissociation with our respective disorders, but my dissociation is completely different to Rich's dissociation. It was quite interesting talking about it with each other.
It's similar but different, and there for different reasons, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. So
I'm going to be caught up on that. How do you deal with extremes of emotion question all night? So many different. Right, it comes from different things. There's no one set answer. I mean, and it depends on what you're feeling extremes of emotion about. I mean, you try reframing things, that sort of thing. It's not the end of the world.
Cognitive behavioral therapy.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And then there's so many other sorts of. I mean, doing it tomorrow, shutting yourself down, like just going to bed, getting under a blanket, watching TV, self-care stuff.
Mindfulness.
Mindfulness stuff. Then
Looking for the root of why you're catastrophizing. I guess.
yeah,
I would start.
There's
me
all of that.
personally,
Why are you catastrophizing? What is
Why-
the fear with that thing?
Why do you always think it's the end of the world when something bad happens? Where is that coming from?
Yeah,
And I would look to the past and go, was it always as bad as I thought? Because 9 times out of 10, if you can pull up a situation,
that's the
where
best
it was,
reframing question.
Yeah.
Was it really as bad as I thought?
was it really that bad, or was that just an emotional extreme, or was it the anxiety that was around that thing, making it seem like it was gonna be that bad?
That feels like a very self-parenting thing. The was it really all that bad? Because I feel like that gets said to kids a lot.
I don't like that framing. It's not was it that, I don't want to say was it that bad. It was more of looking at it, because what I know from catastrophizing and the way I catastrophize, because I do catastrophize. I ruminate a lot and I catastrophize. And I know that the bad things that have happened to me, some of them, a lot, when my mind gets going, it was bad, but I still got through it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as earth-shattering or as mind-numbing.
It's
or
more.
as...
It didn't kill you.
It didn't kill me. I'm still here. I'm still fighting another day.
Yeah.
I came out mostly intact.
It reminds me of this. You know, like when the kid falls and you pick up the kid and you go, "You're all right. You're all right. Come on."
Right. Shouldn't pick up a kid when they fall. You shouldn't try and stop a kid from falling. If they're gonna fall, you should let them fall, and then you should comfort them. But because you can just arms really easy.
Yeah, they're breakable, aren't they? You've got to be gentle with
Their
them.
elbows come out of joint really,
Yeah.
really. People don't know that.
Oh, chatty and TikTok.
No.
Come join us on YouTube as well, by the way. Because I have trouble keeping up with all the chat on here.
You got kicked out of New York once. New York City. What are face dunk?
Face dunks
Oh,
for-
tip. We got tip skills.
What?
Yeah.
What's tip skills?
Oh, I can't remember what this stands for.
Hang on.
Jess from How to ADHD talks about tip skills.
Temperature, intense exercise.
Yep.
Paced breathing, progressive muscle relaxing. That's a tenuous acronym. Okay. Someone really worked hard on that one.
Yeah.
They were determined their thing was going to be an acronym.
Oh, progressive muscle relaxation is also a mindfulness technique as well. Do that a lot in yoga.
Right. Oh, and this is a worksheet. Right, so am I to, like... This is a what to do when you have a big panic thing. Or a big out, or whatever.
Yeah.
Change your temperature, do intense cardio work, breathe and relax.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, it's all solved by going for a run, basically.
And change your temperature. And
I've never encountered all of that before.
that's from a DBT, one of the DBTs.
Right.
Jess said on How to ADHD. Have explosive regulation.
I get very familiar with my frozen dinners. Right, for the temperature change. Yeah.
Cold water, back of the neck, go.
Cold water back.
Woo!
Oh, hi Marina, thank you for subscribing. It really does scare the crap out of you every time it goes off, doesn't it?
It didn't scare me. I just get. I love the dog. I don't know if you guys know this. Paisley's actually here. I love Paisley.
Yeah,
I adore him.
It's a shame we can't get him in shot as well.
I love animals. All animals.
Oh gosh, that jumped. TikTok people, I am having trouble keeping up with you. I recommend you jump on over to YouTube because the chat is just so much easier to handle.
Also, yeah.
Hi,
also,
Dark Italian Phoenix. There's a link on my.
really
and it's really tiny. Is that a Rolex? Where? Are you kidding? No, it's a 30 quid Casio. Is that a Rolex? Bless you.
He's really into Casio watches. Oh.
Bless you. Is this
Would
my
you
partner?
get a
This
Rolex?
is yeah, I would get a Rolex.
Would you get a Rolex?
I would get a Rolex if I
I'm
had
filing this away for like
if I had
spoiling presents and stuff
10
like that when I
grand.
become rich and famous.
if I had 10 grand to drop on a watch that I then couldn't wear, because you don't go out wearing £10,000 on your wrist, because you'll not come home wearing £10,000 on your wrist.
Yeah.
So I
You'd have to go someplace fancy,
wait,
wouldn't
you
you?
do you know what, to make it worth it you have to be otherwise wealthy. We'd have to be going to places with other people who wear Rolexes, and you don't wear a Rolex and go for a night out in Manchester unless you're a footballer, and then you can get away with it because people can go, hey, you're that footballer. They don't, to me they go, hey, you give me your watch or I'll stab you. I go, well, here you go then.
Yeah.
So as nice as Rolexes
Let's
are,
not get stabbed, hey.
yeah, I there's a practical implication to the point of it all. But bless you for wondering.
Give the boy some cheese. We did do that earlier, and then he had a couple chips, and then he was poorly.
Yeah.
So
the boy got. It was weird. I gave him a chip because it fell on the floor while I was cooking, and he ate it, and then was just immediately sick. So his tummy is being settled tonight.
Yeah.
I think is the best way. Buy an Omega. I would, you know.
Don't buy a Rolex. Buy an Omega.
But Omegas come with the same problem. Hi, BPD Rave. It's good to see you. Not seen you for a while.
Aw, thank you.
I wanted to say he said they're not dating. We are. This is Kat, my girlfriend. We've been going for some time now. I've mentioned her a lot. I should have done like a banner thing.
I'm the partner.
It is. You are. It is.
I am the partner.
Indeed. But honestly, where'd we meet? We met on OkCupid,
Yep.
which is weird.
Yeah. Well, now
Is
it's
it?
gotten a lot weirder now.
Yeah,
now
it's weird. It has.
It wasn't weird when you were there. When we were there, it wasn't weird.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, no, it wasn't weird.
No, it wasn't weird.
It did get weirder.
It got weirder.
Is it weird now?
They've done weird thing. I don't like it anymore. They've made it a lot harder because obviously at the time you could do non-monogamous, and they like kind of kept non-monogamous folks with non-monogamous folks.
Do they mix us all together?
Oh,
now?
they mix you all together now. Now I keep getting. The last time I was on there, I kept getting a whole bunch of people who are monogamous, and I'm just like, I'm not monogamous. This isn't really gonna work. Don't know why they did that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Ellie has an Omega. It just sits in a box. That is the best place for it.
Aw.
Honestly, that is just like the best place for it. These expensive watches are great and they're gorgeous, but they're not. They're not day-to-day practical, and it's the thievable item at the moment. If someone will rob Lando Norris,
I know.
they'll
so bad.
nick my watch.
So we'll just stick to Casios.
So
for now,
I'm sticking
okay?
with Casios.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
I'd go to an expensive G-Shock in a heartbeat, but that's it.
Have any questions?
Do you have any children? I don't. She does.
I do. Two sons.
Oh, you're still on dating apps now? We've just confused people.
Do they not know about the
I've always talked
non-monogamous
about being
goodness?
non-monogamous poly.
We're non-monogamous poly, so yes,
Yeah.
we still have dating. We still do have the dating apps and stuff, though. No. I'm not currently seriously looking for a new partner at the moment because I have my own partners. So.
And even
And
I've
I
just
have you.
been. I don't even have the apps.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I sometimes go through, should I get the apps, and then I'm like,
Yeah. I'm kind of like, I want more poly friends, like actual friends.
More poly friends is good. You know what? I actually want more. What the thing that's stopping me the most is a lack of good photos of me that I'm happy putting on a thing and going, hey, this is me. Because I look at them all and I'm like, no.
I liked your photos when I liked your original photos on your profile.
That's fine, and they were great, but they're 3 years old.
You still look like you.
I know, but what I look like is a thinner version of me.
So what you're saying is you need to take more photos of you.
I need to take no.
You need to take more photos.
I need to be more body confident first.
Fair enough.
I feel bloated and generally unattractive at the moment.
Sorry.
Oh, it's one of these things.
I don't.
As I noticed, my watch is getting tighter.
Yeah.
And the fact that I can't run as far or as fast with Paisley, and that sort of thing. That's my next self-confidence thing. And I need to just get back into exercise anyway, because I'm realizing I'm putting weight on. I don't, and it's why I think I'm not sleeping as well. Here comes the NPD
vanity.
It's like a baby. Oh, shush. He looks like a baby with no beard.
He has never done facial hair. As he does not do facial hair, which is it's his face. I'm very much, it's your body, you do what you want, because I do what I want with my body, and there isn't anyone in the world who's going to tell me otherwise. So, that being said, I do like him with more facial hair.
I am somewhat beardy now, but not really.
Yeah, it's quite nice.
What's the best tip you have for dating a person with BPD besides open communication? That's one to you. I'm not dating anyone with BPD.
What is the best tip? I think the best tip I can give to anybody who's dating someone with BPD is to ask the person how their BPD affects them on the day-to-day and listen to what they say. Like, if they say, it's one thing to be like, somebody goes, oh, they have BPD.
Yeah.
It's one thing to hear that, and it's a completely different thing to understand actually what BPD is and understand how it affects the person, because each person's different. There's how many BPD markers are there?
There's 9 markers.
And you have to have how many?
I think there's something like 127 different possible combinations.
Yeah. And it's listening to what they say and believing them when they say these things, because they will come up in your relationship. Rich has split during our relationship. Several times. And that was really difficult. That's the hardest thing for me to deal with, I think, when in our relationship. But I think what helped was listening to you talk about it and how to handle it, because I knew to give you space and not crowd you, and that made it a lot better and a lot easier to deal with, because I think normal people won't. Someone who doesn't understand BPD will crowd in, especially if they're anxiously attached. They will definitely crowd in because they'll feel the separation, and they'll get triggered, and they'll come forward.
And I think as the person with BPD, I need to be able to tell you things. I need to be able to say, look, I'm splitting now. And that only happens if, first of all, I can be aware of it, which is entirely on me. I need to be aware that I'm doing it so I can tell you that I'm doing it. Otherwise, I'm just in a mood. And I need to be able to feel like I can tell you without you taking it personally and being upset about it. Yeah.
And I think I don't know, have I managed that? I think I've managed that with you.
Well, those two things are the case, that I can tell you, and because I'm splitting on you, but just because you're there, not because you're you. and that
It-
you
it has
shouldn't
nothing
take
to
it
do with me.
personally.
It has
Yeah,
nothing to do with me. It's what's happening
yeah.
in your brain at the moment.
But I
It's not.
imagine if I didn't realize, hey, I'm splitting, then I'd just get. I think we'd have a lot more petty arguments, like picked fights over nothing.
Yeah, fights
That-
over spilled milk.
Yeah,
I think my second biggest tip, I'm gonna give a bonus second tip,
go
is
for
to
it.
make sure that you are a safe place for the person with BPD to come and talk to. You can't. It's no good saying I'll listen to you and I'll be there for you and I'll support you, and then as soon as they start to have their, in this case we'll use the splitting as the example, if they come to you and say I'm starting to split on you, freaking out on them isn't gonna help. You're no longer the safe space that you said you were. So
Yeah.
thank you, Grey Lizard.
Absolutely. Ellie, I've texted Nosy. I assume she will be here if she can be here.
Yeah.
Which would be good. But yeah, dating a person with BPD, it's just.
It's not. It's no different than. I don't think it's any different than dating anybody else with any other condition. It requires communication, patience, and it also requires a certain bit of self-reflection. I know that specifically because I have a friend with BPD and I've been triggered. My PTSD has been triggered by her BPD because she was having. She gets really angry and she shoots her mouth off, and that can be very triggering for me because she gets shouty
Right.
and aggressive. So, and that's one of the ways it does happen. You don't shout, so I don't have that worry about that trigger. But it's something we've talked about. That was one of the things that first came up when I found out.
I
We
don't shout,
talked
do
about
I?
it. No, you don't raise your voice. You get you get you get a bit condescending.
Yeah, okay.
You
Yeah,
can
okay.
get you can get very condescending,
I
which can be a trigger for me, by the way. But I know that it's a defense mechanism for me. So I just sort of.
I think with regards to shouting, I match energy.
Yeah.
And because you don't shout,
No. I
I
really
don't
hard
shout
not
back
to.
at you.
I try really hard not to. I don't like shouting.
And I won't escalate that. I think there are times. I think if I was trying to be, if it wasn't you, if it was someone out there in the world, and I was trying to be intimidating, or that's when I'll come out and just shout at you an inch away from your face. But again, I don't do that to random people anymore.
Nope.
There are random people I have done that to in the past, but not for
I
a
don't
long
think
time.
I wouldn't let you shout at random people an inch from their face. I think I'd grab you and be like,
I
come
don't
on.
know. I think that
Come on, we're going.
if something has happened that I've reached that point,
It really honestly
Especially
depends
now.
on the situation, really.
Yeah, it
like
does.
like if it's warranted, then I'm just gonna let you go. But if it's not warranted, if you're like if it's like the guy like said something to somebody and you overheard it and took it wrong, I'm gonna stop you.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
But no,
I love you,
wouldn't-
but no.
I wouldn't shout at you because that's.
No.
I'd need to be angry at you, and in order for me to be angry at you, you'd have to have done something maliciously.
Yeah, I don't. I try
And
not,
and
yeah,
you've
I
never
don't.
done anything maliciously. I've no reason to expect you're going to start tonight. So it's not.
Well,
a
the
thing.
night's young.
Exactly.
No, I'm joking.
It's only 10:15.
It's only 9:45. Give it an hour. I'm sure I can think of something. No. I'm joking.
No, it's.
I'm totally joking. I won't do it. I promise.
I'm just catching up with the chat. I hate when I split on people or project stuff onto them. It feels like I have no control about it. It's hard to communicate it, so I hide it and pretend everything is fine.
I think
Yeah.
that's why I try and make a safe space for Rich to talk when he does split, because I know that from talking to my friend with BPD and from talking to Rich, I know that it's not something that is controlled. It's just something that kind of, it's like riding a roller coaster that you didn't want to get on. That's kind of how I look at it. It's like you've jumped on a roller coaster you never meant to get on, and now you're like, ah!
I honestly think that the two key things to dating somebody with BPD: have boundaries so that you know where
Boundaries
your
too.
line in the sand with regards to what treatment you're prepared to accept is.
Yeah.
And try your best to accept that none of it is personal.
Yeah.
And if you can get those two things.
Those are also really good to remember.
And the other thing that I always want people, if you're dating someone with any cluster B thing, I think you should need to see progress.
Yes.
I don't like this idea
no,
that
absolutely.
like, those
absolutely.
of us who are like, well, I have MPD and this is how I am. It's like, no. Don't like that. That's unnecessary. You're just now you're using it as a reason to be a dick. So I think as a partner or someone, you need to see
agreed.
Even effort towards progress.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I agree with that. I don't think that the NPD was a little bit more worrying for me on the grounds because I didn't really know much about it.
Yeah.
And then after talking to you about it and realizing, like, I'm a bit lucky in that sense, I think, because your MPD doesn't come out really in our relationship at all. It's more of a professional thing with you. That's where it came out more. And we kind of have boundaries in place. We said we're not gonna really work together, are we?
Yeah.
we're gonna keep our job life separate.
That's it. Oh, you 2 months episode 3, Ellie. Well done. And that's
that's good.
I always have trouble saying this fucking medication name. Is it quitapine? Quitapine.
Quitapine. It's EI, so that's a weird one, isn't it?
Quitapine.
Does EI, would that make that an E sound?
I don't know.
I think it become passive aggressive, or I try not.
Can you give me an example of splitting my experience is only the worst in my life or out my life now in between? Well, that's splitting. I mean, I guess like it is, splitting is just black and white thinking. So it is that extreme in its nature, and I think the only way it varies is depending on, am I splitting on a relationship, am I splitting on that thing they're wearing or that thing they said today or whatever.
You split on poly at one point.
I split on everything at one point.
Yeah, at one point you just went, no, I'm done.
There was a moment of, let's burn everything.
Yep.
And all of that, and that's never a good thing.
No.
That should be a warning in itself.
But that was when you were having your
breakdown.
He had a mental breakdown.
Yeah, that was
a year into our relationship, so. And I knew, and I just waited patiently till you were done. I knew it before he knew it. I knew it about 3 days after it had all blown up. And I was just like, yeah, I'm just going to wait this out.
Claire Bear on TikTok, you can ask any question you like.
Any question?
Please go ahead. Sir Rockwell. Seroquel. Yeah, BPD splitting is like going back and forth between hating and loving someone, not just in romantic relationship. It's anything. People, things, places, experiences, jobs, that game you play right now, all of life. Anything that it's literally anything you can have an opinion about.
And it can be quite intense, and it can be quite I mean, when you split on everything, that was 2.5. That was from beginning of January till end of February. It was quite a long.
Was it that long? I thought it was only about a month.
Oh, it was 3 days after New Year's till the end of February.
Gosh, right.
We got back together.
Yeah, I've kind of.
Yeah, you were not okay.
Yeah, I was
you
not
were
okay.
Absolutely not okay. And I remember, like...
Oh, yeah, I was broken for about 3 months, wasn't I?
Yeah, because you weren't okay when we got... It took you a while after we got back together, too, to be okay.
Yeah.
But I remember, like, you came and the first thing you did was apologize, and I just went... I looked, and you were trying to explain that you were having a breakdown, and I just looked at you and went, I know. Why do you think I'm here? And you were just like, what?
Yeah.
I knew. I tried telling you.
Fun and cluster B. Yeah. Good times. Good times.
Sorry, I'm giving him a hug now.
That's okay. For me, I become super angry at someone I know it doesn't make sense. Yeah. I basically just come up with reasons why that person is now the worst person who ever lived. It's like Hitler, Harold Shipman, anyone who refers to Sam Smith as him, and this, the worst people that ever lived. Sorry.
Yeah.
That joke came out in my head the other night, and I never meant for it to come out in voice.
Rich, tell us how you really feel. Come on, let's go.
It was one of that's an old man yells at cloud in 2023 joke.
Are we
It's
haven't missed it.
only on people. No, it's anything. Anything. Do you know who was good at splitting on anything? Steve Jobs. Now, that man, like, if you want to look up splitting, it's kind of amazing how much he did that on a day-to-day basis about anything and everything. He didn't have furniture in his house for years because every piece of furniture was either amazing or shit. And he couldn't find the amazing stuff, so he just had no furniture in his house for ages.
I felt like that, but not. And
and everything he used was the best one, and everything else was shit. Yeah. The Parker Rollerball was the best pen, and you're an idiot if you use anything else. I know it's the exact same thing.
You have that with Apple, but a little bit, my love.
Well, and it's that transferred. It's that transferred projected narcissism about it. It's that I have decided this is the best thing, and therefore everything else is garbage. There's no.
There have been times where I've listened to, because you've kind of gone onto like a soapbox about it, and I've just sort of listened to you, and I've kind of let you do it, and then like a day later I'll come back to you and I'll start like poking at it a little bit and just be like, you did that yesterday.
What with?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
It's nothing major, and it's just because I want to check to see if you're actually aware that the narcissism was coming out or not in that moment. You're usually aware of it, which is quite. I don't know if that's good or bad. I think it's good. I think it's good to be aware of it. I think that's where I've landed with it. I think it's good to be aware of it when your narcissism is coming out, because if you feel that it's too much, then you can judge for yourself whether you need to make some changes or what.
Yeah. Now I'm curious. I've never really. Look, what? Hang on. Sorry, Marina. Say that again. I'm kind of lost on what you're meaning. I think that's in reference to something we've said, and I've already.
Curious about what?
So yeah, who else has questions? Anyone else have any questions about anything you want to ask? We'll keep things going. Oh, well, he's over on TikTok as well. I have a new friend to help bully you. No, he's not a bully. Oh, here we go. Sorry, Claire. On TikTok, I missed your question. Have you ever had experiences with hallucinations? Have BPD and experienced them when overwhelmed? I've heard about this. And I think I have the... right. There's visual and auditory hallucinations. And I have the auditory hallucinations a lot. And always have.
I did not know that.
I didn't know it was a thing.
For
years, I didn't...
Do you hear... Is it a sound, or is it a voice, or... I'm sorry, I'm curious. This is the first I've heard of this.
It's very often a voice. Right? And it used to happen... It happened a lot more when I was a lot younger. And it used to be... I'd think I'd heard my mum calling me. Thanks for the subscribe. Yeah, it was. I would most commonly think I'd hear my mum calling me, and I would very often. I remember turning up like, "What?" And she's like, "What?" Like, you shouted at me. No, I didn't. Okay, and that would happen a lot, and it seems to happen slightly less now. I don't know if I'm doing it. And it happened when I didn't live alone. I think it's because I'm expecting there to be something. And oddly enough, when I'm here and it's me and Paige, I often think I hear him. And if I'm up here, I'll think I'm hearing him crying downstairs or something, and I'll go and check on him, and he'll just be asleep.
No.
Or whatever. And it gets to the point sometimes I hear him squeaking when he's not here.
I wonder. I have a theory.
But it's visual ones. I think we're also prone to like catching something out the corner of your eye, which I do from time to time. And I just thought that was just me.
Apparently not. No,
and not
I
a
did not
thing,
know
but
that.
it's apparently a BPD thing that we hear. We get minor hallucinations. Nothing, it's not like I think I see a ghost or...
It's not like you're seeing dead people.
Or seeing dead people. No, nothing like that.
Have a nice friend, like a beautiful mind there.
Yeah, there's an animated cartoon horse that only I can see and hear that talks to me. It's not that level of thing, no. Although that would so be cool. But it's not that.
No, because you definitely... You would have a literal angel and devil on your shoulder, and oh no. I don't think the angel would.
No, the other dude's armed with a pitchfork. So yes, to answer your question, Claire, I absolutely have. That's a thing that happens. Yeah, sorry, catching up on YouTube. How long have I been... Oh, right, the splitting, the worst person thing you said. Okay. I have quite BPD and have 2 years of therapy, but now I'm finally in a good space. I feel like I forgot how to handle my BPD. It's, you have to practice it all a lot, don't you? Otherwise you just sort of...
I don't think it's a thing... I don't think it's a thing that you ever stop doing.
Yeah.
I think it's a thing that you always do. I think it's something that becomes more automatic over time. The longer you do it, the more often you do it, and the longer you do it, the less you think about it. It's just something you carry into your life.
Yeah.
And I think therapy sometimes is something you restart. I've been to therapy on and off since I was 13 years old.
Hey, it's something some people have to do once a month, otherwise they'll apparently immediately revert back to their old ways. But, that's the thing for some people.
Because I started so young, I had different coping mechanisms when I was 13 that I do now.
Yeah.
And I needed to go back to therapy because they stopped working for me.
Yeah.
So that's life, and that's a thing that can happen to I think anybody with any illness. Something you have to...
Yeah.
It's a good thing to do, and a good thing to monitor and have things in place.
To answer the question Grey Lizard asked, how long have I been diagnosed? It's tricky because there's no official diagnosis, is there? My diagnosis is a list of symptoms, which when you know what BPD and MPD are, it's that, but they don't say that. So I work from sort of October 2019-ish is my sort of self-aware date. I think that's it. Gotta sound like Skynet now. The day I became self-aware. I feel like an AI. Was sometime around October, November. It was sort of a voyage of discovery, and I took sort of not self-diagnosis but self-realization as part of the therapy process that I was supposed to go through, that I was supposed to figure out what symptoms I had and then spend time learning from that and figuring out. And that was when you get oh shit, I've got BPD. And this other thing that is often mentioned with it.
Mm.
And that was sort of it. I do now need a letter from somebody that says that on it, though.
I was diagnosed at 13 with PTSD.
Yeah.
My counselor actually gave me, which they don't normally do, but she said because I was bright enough and she thought it would be more useful for me to know. So she gave me a diagnosis.
I think mine would have been more useful for me to know. Because it was when it got figured out that I really started taking strides in dealing with it.
Yeah. I think some people it can slow down.
Oh, I totally get it.
Or what they can do is they can sometimes when you learn about a new mental illness, you start to take on traits that you didn't have
you
before.
self-fulfill.
So you have to be very careful.
Absolutely. But I don't think I'd have done that. I think it would have helped me. I keep learning, yes, but now I want to stay happy. Now with every, like, well, yeah, that's it. It's a lifelong project, and yeah, I think the trouble with it is, on the long term, is that there are so many facets to BPD and all the cluster B stuff that you lose. You lose track. There are so many plates we're keeping spinning. And eventually one will fall. I think, and I think the important thing is, like, not to hate ourselves when that happens and just pick it up and do it again, absolutely. Do it some more.
Absolutely.
Do we have any other questions I missed on TikTok? What age did you feel like something was different, such as needing help for BPD and NPD? I always felt something was different. All of these emotions and problems have been there forever, as long as I remember, forever and ever. And it didn't become a problem until late teenage years when the suicidal ideation started. So that's when it really started to become something that needed taking care of and dealing with properly. Because you that's the thing, right? You know you're not supposed to want to kill yourself.
Yeah. Yep.
It's
I had that. Yep.
You know, the feeling sad and making the link to I am sad all the time. Perhaps I have depression. Perhaps that's a mental health thing. That can be a more difficult leap. But thinking I want to kill myself all the time. There's no two ways about it. That's clearly there's something wrong.
Yeah.
And then you spend 20 years being diagnosed with depression and trying every antidepressant there is and realizing that none of them work because you've not got depression.
Yep. I did not like it, my antidepressants, but
that's how that
I'm
goes.
not on them anymore. So.
Yeah. By the way, if anybody wants to change my lights from green, please do so because it's a bit weird now. If you want to send a super chat, it changes the colour of my lights in the office here.
I don't have my phone around.
And yeah, if you could put them back on purple, I'd appreciate that. Or at least something not white, because then it just looks like we've turned the lights on. You don't get to choose though; it's random. So that's the thing. How are we doing on TikTok here? Hello, TikTok people. Right, Point Fire says I was pushing away the people who were attempting to assist me. Wounded Warriors Canada reconnected to my family. Is that that sounds like some sort of charitable organisation that actually sounds pretty good. They reconnected you to your family. Spinning different plates. Yeah. Like plate spinning. You've got to keep them spinning in the air or they fall down. Is that a thing worldwide or is that just a British thing?
No, we just spin plates.
Plate spinning in America.
Plate spinning. Familiar with that. Although it is a bit hard to know which is... I have been living in England since 2009 now, so like it's getting kind of blurred which is American, which is everywhere, which is American, which is only British. It's sort of like... I know it all blends together now.
You don't get a lot of plate spinning anymore. It used like Saturday night television. You could be guaranteed to see at least one plate spinner.
I've definitely seen it.
And now nothing.
Pardon me. Sorry.
You know. Anyway, so what time are we on? Oh wow, we've been going nearly an hour and a quarter.
Not
Thank
bad.
you for joining us there, Marina. You did a great job.
Yes, thank you. It was nice to talk to you.
It was lovely to talk to you. It's gone quiet in TikTok. Does anybody else have any other questions? And if not, we'll shuffle on. But we'll keep going as long as we have questions and that sort of thing. If there's anything anybody wants to talk about or whatever, or change my lights back from green, then that's very much appreciated. Have you all seen the Living with BPD course? Jerry's has tried it out. And maybe don't make a big enough thing about the fact that you can buy each part individually as well. There's links on earlymorningbarking.com. My doctor told me I'd just had anxiety for years after pretty much having a breakdown. Turns out I have a whole pile of other things there. I'm with you, DC. It's...
Ooh, PTSD and BPD.
I don't know why
Fun.
they're so reluctant. Why
So
GPs are so reluctant to do anything. Because they don't have to do anything. All I needed was a referral. I didn't need medication. I didn't need to constantly see my GP. I needed him to send me to the people who would deal with me properly. And that they seem so reluctant to do. A GP's not going to give you a mental health diagnosis because that's not their job. They're not trained for that. Their job is to see you and go.
They don't like giving out referrals, and I don't know why.
What, do they cost money? I don't.
I
Because
don't-
otherwise, why would you give a shit? I would refer everybody if I were a GP. I'd treat nobody. That would be it. Well, your arms come off, hospital, head hospital. Everything hospital. You want medication from me? No,
No.
there's a specialist. I'll refer you. I'd not do anything.
Maybe it does cost money. I don't know.
And-
I just know that they're very reluctant. Like I had a hard time because I'm waiting for my ADHD diagnosis, and I've been waiting for 3 years for that now. But when I did my thing, they really did not want to do the referral, and I was just like, no, I definitely there's something else that's cooking here,
Yeah,
and it needs solving now.
I'd just refer.
I would.
Mind you, I'd have been the kid at medical school that was sat at the back of the pharmacology lessons going, which ones can I get high off? I'm asking for a friend. So I know what not to prescribe. That would be my chat up line in college. Hey baby, do you know I have my own prescription pad?
Yeah.
And the worst thing is I would like the girls that would work on. Anyway.
You would. It's true, you would.
So, thank you for watching, everybody. It's been an absolute delight having you all join us here, and we may do this again in the future.
I'll come back. I think I'll come back.
It's been a pleasure having. Have you had fun
I
talking
have
to the
had
people?
fun. I've quite enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Excellent, excellent. And they're all off to bed anyway. Soon it's late for a Saturday night. It's 10 o'clock. Gosh, we're all dull. We need.
Some people get up early, you know?
That's true. Some people, you're probably getting up early. I'm not gonna.
Occasionally you get up early. Occasionally I get messages at like 10 in the morning.
Yeah, when I've stayed up all night. So.
No, you definitely messaged me after you had a good night's sleep one night and you went to bed at 2 a.m.
I remember that day.
I remember that day too.
It was ages ago
It
now.
was.
Anyway, thank you for watching, everybody. We'll be back another time. You take care. Cook up some more spicy questions, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.